All right, welcome to Friday. How you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing great today. Let's see what's going on. Feel free to swap around any characters that show up in this reading. If something resonates for you, then just follow the story. If you're struggling with the story or trying to make it fit, it's not your story. Okay? So there's been a lot of comments about that recently about like, this is exactly me. This is not me at all. And why are you doing this reading and stuff like that. So just don't wrestle with it. Okay, these are general readings. Don't wrestle with it. Something comes through for you, it's for you. That's what my intention is. What do we need to know today? What does the collective need to know today? Okay, if you're really fighting with it, then there's definitely something you do need to pay attention to. And that's something that's so interesting to me when we're really trying to not hear something. And I have seen a few comments lately about someone just like really not wanting to hear something. I'm like, oh, it'll be okay. Like eventually it'll just, it's just trying to wake you up a little bit here. All right, so let's see what's going on. No worries. You do you, okay? All right, let's see what comes out. Your words create worlds. That's a 44 card. So yesterday I talked a lot about my father and about the anniversary of his death, and it's been 44 years. There's a 44 card, and this is definitely for those of you who feel that your story has something to share with other people. The energy of sharing is much more inclusive, like open, than telling someone, right? If you tell someone, people just shut down. But if you share something like my own experience, and this is what I took from it and everything like that, then there's kind of like this sense of like, oh, people listen, people open when you are like that. And I just get the feeling that that's something that somebody needs to hear right now, that your words are really needed. Your stories are really needed right now because people are so closed down. They need to hear each other's stories. That connection and the coming back together is going to be because of people's experience and that we can relate. Yeah. Befriend your fear monster. That's an important card. Each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. This is about letting go of ego, right? And that can be a super duper challenge on this planet for all of us. Out of the mess comes elegant order. So there's something about like no fear, not fearing what's going on, not fearing what's to come. Share your stories, give up the ego position that you have. The more you can kind of give up this egoic path, the better off you're going to be. And like not trying to like call anybody out or anything like that, because we all have ego. It's why you get out of bed in the morning, okay? But you wouldn't get out of bed if it wasn't for the ego. So but this really says to me that the leaning into fear, tell that story to people when when you really have something. Like I have told my story quite a bit about 2017, 2016, 2017, about leaning into this fear about a collapse around my video marketing business, just because it was just so heavy, it was so overwhelming, and it was like kind of done. Like I had done what I needed to do with it. I taught the people I needed to teach. It was time to move on. And there's this sense of like, I don't remember like why. I just knew that like leaning into it instead of running away from it, since I had been running away from it all those years, like that never fixed it. It didn't fix it. It might have made it worse. I don't know. It could have. It might have made it stable. I don't know. But um the energy of leaning into it and sort of going toward the thing you fear most, especially if it threatens your ego, like who you have become or who you think you are or who you're wanting to become or any of those things. This is really about releasing that, just releasing that, and knowing that this mess comes elegant order. I have to say that really staying out of the mental freak out that is happening on the planet right now, just really staying separate from that, leaning into anything that has terrified you, because there's a lesson in there. There's something about that that's really important. It's requiring, this is like the next step. Remember we talked about the spiral, right? Einstein talked about time as a spiral. And we are talking about this yin and yang kind of experience of embracing um embracing kind of things being a little bit messy. North Node in Pisces right now, things are a little bit messy, and they're going to be a bit messy. And but there is something about telling that story that is going to collect or connect you with other people that you need to be connected to moving forward. This is going to be part of your life experience, part of what you're here to do, even if it frightens you. Like I think I talked about yesterday about being seen, maybe frightening to you. We talked about that witch wound, about your gifts being the fear of your gifts being your downfall. And that is like kind of drummed out of a lot of people, because, sometimes your gifts really would expand the world, and that terrifies people who want it to stay the same. All right. So let's see what the tarot has to say today. Your story, your words create worlds. It's okay to be seen. It is messy, but there's something about optimism. I mean, I am a Sag, and a lot of you watching are Sages or have some prominent Sag energy. There's something about not being embarrassed that you have optimism, that's part of your story, that you've been able to evolve each time things shift or change for you, that even if you've had kind of a challenging path, like your story is very optimistic, but from a place of like, hey, like this really realistic optimism, like it actually happened this way. So it's not like running away from well, I don't know, running away. It's not about like escapism, in the sense that like you're looking through these rose colored glasses at something that didn't really happen. You're looking through the lens of something realistic or realism, to share the story of hope or share the story of some upliftment. And I just feel like that's the thing that's going to be really important, to connect with each other on our stories, our experiences, what we have to share with each other. Y'all have lessons to share. Okay. So if you're feeling called to do that, I'm getting that it might be time for that. Okay. So 5 of Wands, there it is. The Knight of Wands. See this? 10 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, and the 5 of Pentacles. And there's this power energy, this strength. There's something that's very challenging that we as a collective are going through. Super challenging. Okay. And there's a sense of like wanting to deny reality, and people who being very pissed off at other people who share uplifting or optimistic stories, because they're having challenges. And it's kind of like, the more you want to the more you hug on to like a badge of honor about how challenging things are, the more they stay challenging. So it's kind of like, can you look at what you've been through, or what you're going through, or what's going on, even though it's really challenging, and see your own light in it, see your own amazing resilience, or your ability to connect, or even though things have gone have gone very roughly or challenging. I keep using the word challenging, but that's what this looks like. There's something that other people need to hear. It is something that people need to hear. There isn't a person, there is not, okay, I just want to say this with all the love in my heart. There is not a person on this planet, no matter what it looks like from the outside, the Facebook kind of creation people make, there is not a person on this planet that hasn't gone through challenges. And the more empathy we have for each other, I told you that story about this friend I had from high school who really kind of went over the edge on her experience in her life and caused everything to kind of collapse because she wasn't having gratitude for what was in her life. And that really is her life lesson. It really showed her about having gratitude. And even though some of the things weren't like what she wanted, having gratitude for the good things, no matter what is existing, being able, and this is a gift of Sagittarius for Sagittarius, or this is the gift of Sagittarius among us, that being able to see the good in things. It's not Pollyanna. I don't know if that maybe that's an dated reference now, but Pollyanna was a movie where the girl saw good in everything, even though like terrible things were happening. She was just always like, well, right? Like it's raining and everybody's houses. There's all this like tornadoes and stuff. She's like, well, at least the flowers are getting a drink, and everyone's like, oh my God, shut up, right? Like there's that, but there is something about acknowledgement acknowledgement of an experience, even though like other people might be having a really challenging experience and you're feeling really good inside you, even though the world is kind of doing what it's doing. If that's how you're feeling lately, like, okay, I don't have a lot of fear around this, or whatever, people want me to have fear, but I don't have a lot of fear. I have some optimism. I have hope. I have hope. And that's Leo energy and that's child energy. It's kind of like bringing that forward in a way that says, look, hey, I've dealt with some hard stuff too. This is not a Pollyanna thing. Again, that reference. But this is much more about seeing the connection to the who we are becoming. The things that getting stripped away are the things that have no longer usefulness for us. Okay, so on to the reading. Moon, 9 of Cups, that was the full moon in Leo. We just went through on the 12th, the 9 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. So much abundance coming in. So much, like you can barely handle it, right? So much abundance. Leo is joyfulness, expansion. 9 of Cups is the wish granted. So much abundance coming in. 4 of Cups, the Death card, and the 4 of Swords. So it's almost like looking at the, I don't want to, looking at the wrong things, looking at the things that are stagnant, looking at the things that aren't the future, or looking at the things that you're wanting to hold on to kind of get drained away anyway. And so healing is necessary. The 4 of Swords here. Queen of Wands, more Leo, Magician, ooh, I like this, and the King of Swords. Aquarius, Gemini, Leo. All right, I do see Scorpio. I do see some water here, a Scorpio Cancer energy. So like I did a reading about Mars in retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And one of the lessons that Mars is teaching us is about the lessons of the heart, that it's not always about, some kind of external, independent domination, taking action, a warrior kind of energy. It can be about mama bear energy, an internal kind of thing. It can be about self-protective kind of thing. It can be about like this womb, right? Like your house or your apartment or wherever you're living, and like making that peaceful. And we've talked about this before, making that peaceful, doing what you need to do in your space, keeping it clear of negative energy and people. Definitely don't spend time with people who have a negative or lack or fearful reaction to everything. It's really time to move on from that. Like that's done. Okay, it's like that's done. Like, who is this? There was somebody was it on TikTok? I can't remember, but I liked what she said. She said something about like, okay, I give myself like 5 minutes to freak out about something. And I actually put a timer on it. And I put a timer on it and I fret and worry and blow it up in my head and do all those kinds of things. And then at the end of 5 minutes, I go, okay. Because there's something about not trying to shut those feelings down. Like they're telling you something. they're telling me that this is my fear, this is my worst fear, or this is my anxiety, or this is my wounds coming up, or something like that. That's all kind of fertile ground for learning and healing. Okay, so like to not shut them down is probably a great thing, but you can't let it keep going on. It's likely it can't be the lens that we look out of all the time because it'll be too hard to move. So I haven't really talked about this Knight of Cups. I do feel like there is some kind of new beginning happening that requires us to build on the strength of all that we have endured. And so things you're enduring things to make you stronger, to make you more abundant, and also to make you more grateful for the good things when they do come in. So whenever something good comes in, um, be grateful for it, have a lot of gratitude. Whenever something leaves your life that has given you in the past, maybe something that is worthy of your, sort of uh, being grateful of it, even if it was challenging, even if it was difficult in a way that really shaped you, really changed you. Um, there are definitely people who are changed by difficult circumstances, and we choose the lens or the new perspective on life based on a lot of the difficult things and easy things and fun things, but mostly difficult things. We choose to have That's why when people get older, they've accumulated a lot of life lessons or wisdom or whatever. But you can see people going in two directions. You can see them going in a place where it like piles on them like bricks, or where they keep the lesson but remove the person or remove the experience or the challenging energy of it. That was just the way to work through it. I want to just take this and pin this up. This is the wisdom, this is the lesson, this is the feeling, this is the gratitude I have, this is the joy I have, this is the clarity I have, this is the creativity I have. um if you look back in your life, some of the worst things when they were happening to you, some of the worst things, the things that you thought were the worst things in your life, usually turn out to be the stories that inspire the most people because you're still here. You're still sitting here. So there is a transformation here. The caterpillar doesn't look a damn thing like the butterfly at all. Okay? So it has to change you in order for it to be relevant. Okay, that's what's coming through. And let me see about this. This Four of Swords is very healing energy after transformation. What is the transformation? Let's look at the Death card here. Eight of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So this almost reminds me of kind of transcending like normal life, like work and friends and la 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 la, like transcending what you think life is and really seeing the message of the lessons that are trying to come through. You're seeing life archetypally, or you're going to be. You're seeing life through the lens of wisdom. This is the wisdom that's trying to come through from these experiences. Oh, thank you. Okay, we have a new moon in Pisces coming up. I was just leaving a comment for someone who was talking about clearing karma, all of these things about lack mentality. This is about being betrayed, right? This is about conflict. And this is really about holding on to the baggage. But instead, this reading is saying transmute that into wisdom. It's a much lighter lift. It's not the layers of bricks. Okay. So this creativity and manifestation, this is Mercury energy, Virgo and Gemini. This is Aquarius energy. This vision, Six of Cups, Ace of Cups. Look at this, Ace of Swords. Wow. And the Four of Pentacles. So these are just options. This is potential. Being offered a new path, a new truth, right? There's a sense of There's a sense of nostalgia to this. Maybe some of the things you're leaving behind or letting go of, there's a sense of nostalgia because you're moving on to this new path, this Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. And I get the feeling there's a last minute kind of, "Ah, I don't want to let these things go," or I drop back into my dark feelings about them or my dark thoughts about them, and I'm like, this is unfair. Why did this have to happen? And I see us kind of like wobbling back and forth. This is the 2 of Pentacles here, between acceptance, acceptance of a situation, and the anger at the unfairness of it. And that's what is this kind of stuck energy, this 4 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords. The one that's missing is the 4 of Wands, which is the celebratory next step. All right, one more clarification. Queen of Pentacles. There's the wisdom energy of Virgo. There's justice, the balancing of things. 6 of Wands, the overcoming of things. That's beautiful. So this is really saying that if you want to take good care of yourself, Queen of Pentacles, you're balancing the experiences and really extracting the wisdom. And there's a reason for this. There's a new moon coming up, new moon in Pisces. And that's on the 27th of February, and it's at 9 degrees. So there's definitely something about out of the mess comes elegant order. So let's see where we take this. All right, let's see what's next. What we don't see coming, I will talk about that. I'll get some clarification around that. But I like the fact that we have this Queen and King of Swords and this Ace of Swords, Page of Swords. There's something about cutting away the darkness that feels really good to me here with like this sense of meaning. That's very Sagittarian to, it's not just about having a bunch of actions by a person or a bunch of experiences. This is about connecting the dots. What does it mean in your life? What does it mean? Because making meaning is the next level. To make meaning out of why this all happened or what's the purpose of it in my particular path, and then collectively. All right, so let's see where we're going with this. If you want to continue with me, if this is your reading, there's a link below. And Pathfinders, let's just keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.